certainly looking forward to the opportunity Saturday, and like the way that guys have approached the week, and still got to finish out our preparation, but excited to get back to playing. Obviously, had the bye, and I think we got some stuff out of it, but it's all about playing, and now we get an opportunity to get back on the field, and looking forward to that.
Colton. Paul, it seems like Notre Dame is relying on the blitz a decent amount to try to get a pass rush. What are you seeing about how they try to apply pressure to the quarterback?
Well, I think they do, a real nice job of it, and got a number of different ways that they're pressuring, and different looks and different people involved with it, and quite honestly, when you don't get the numbers, I think they still do a nice job of kind of creating the pressure. It's a good defense, and yet I think they're doing it a number of different ways, which is always something you got to work on, and certainly have to recognize and be able to handle in the course of the game. And my guess is you're going to see some that you haven't yet seen this year.
Jeff?
Yeah, Paul, I'm not sure what the staff schedule was in the off week, but how much time did you guys spend as a staff self-scouting those first two games? And when you did that, was there anything that popped up that you didn't anticipate, that you would see? Yeah,
that's a good and fair question. You're absolutely, I think, anytime, but certainly in a bye, you've got more time. I think anytime during the week, Jeff, you want to make sure that you're doing a good job of kind of looking at yourself as much as, certainly there's a lot of focus on the opponent, but I think the number one thing that jumped out is probably, areas of improvement are ones that were pretty obvious. What you want to do though was, okay, what is causing that? Not just the result is that's a kind of foregone conclusion, right? You know that, but what is it that is fixable, correctable? What details can you clean up, or do you have to reteach it or reemphasize that it's something that's not being done? And so I think absolutely spent some time during the bye week doing that. And, I don't think there's a ton that, you didn't think you saw it all right, because you're through the course of it, you're spending a lot of time watching it. But I think it is certainly, you got to take it back, keep peeling back the layers, and how do you fix it, and how do you correct it, and how is it, what are the ways that you can control so that it does or doesn't happen again?
Zach?
Paul, do you anticipate having Faion Hicks and Colin Wilder on Saturday?
Yeah, we've been, certainly with the bye week, it gave us a chance, for those that had been hurt, and everyone was able to practice and do something this week.
Jake?
Paul, I talked to Travian Blaylock earlier this week, and I know he received a significant amount of snaps against Eastern Michigan. How have you seen his development? I know he fought through some injuries early in his career, but how have you seen him develop to the point of being a contributor in that safety group?
Yeah, I mean, it's been fun to see Trey this year for a couple different reasons. One, I think that certainly been in it long enough and kind of past the knowing what to do stage, and a lot of what he was fighting was kind of the health, and knock on wood, he's been staying healthy and not just contributing on defense, but very significant contributor on our special teams as well.
Back to Colton. Well, this doesn't exactly apply to this week, so forgive me on that part, but what's a typical visit from an NFL scout like when they come to the facility in terms of their interactions with you and the staff, and then whoever they're scouting?
Yeah, there's I think there's different stages and kind of phases to their evaluation, and we've always wanted to be really open and accessible for the scouts that come in, and just like we appreciate it when we get to go to high schools, right? And it's also, I believe it's great for our players. And I think each club, each scout has a little bit different formula, but you just want to make sure that you can provide them with what they need to do their job, and so I think that, they're certainly going to want to see them kind of live, at a practice. And sometimes it's, depending on what day it is, just to physically, set eyes on them. So you want them available for that. And obviously there's all the films available, but they get a lot of the film work anyways. And then it's, some scouts will talk to the position coach, some will talk to myself, some will talk, to strength coaches, trainers, and kind of, they all have a little bit different way of going about it, but want to make it as accessible as we can for our players. And also I think it's the right thing to do for the clubs.
All right, we'll wrap things up with one more from Jeff.
Yeah, Paul, we ask you all the time about Henningsen and Keanu, your frontline defensive linemen, but have you been getting what you need from guys like Thompson, Rodis Johnson, and Bryson to keep Henningsen and Benton fresh for later in the game?
Yeah, I've for good reason. We talk about Henny and Keanu, and certainly, I've loved seeing how Isaiah's been progressing. And Bryson's played a lot of football and has been good for us. And I think that we are like, I think Ross is doing a really good job with, the younger or more inexperienced defensive linemen. You talk about James and you talk about Rodis. And so I think, they're still like the way that they're working, and still there's work to be done, but getting to the point where we're feeling better about them. And as we're going to need to go deep in that. Right. And so I think that certainly not disappointed at all in it. And heck, all of us need to just keep working.